You like that?
Yo, the lies so that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands is open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes win. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running it maybe. We just keep winning, we conquer daily. Envision that pay me is never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Opportunity, your opportunity. your opportunity, your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
All right.
It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your
I gotta start the video over again. Dang it.
your opportunity. It's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.
Yeah. Welcome one, welcome all, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Lion Villain Report. I am your host, Russell Wayne, and we are broadcasting live right now. I got my headphones back. I'm so excited. So we are broadcasting live into our Facebook page right now. Our fan page. We have over 56,000 villains in there. Oh, it's so wonderful. Why have billions when we can have thousands? We are broadcasting live into the YouTube page at Lions Villain Squad. We are broadcasting live into the JC Sports Network on YouTube, as well as the Detroit Lions News Podcast on Facebook with over 78,000 people in there. We are the undrafted free agents of sports podcasting right here at the Villain Report. You can help us out by liking, sharing, and commenting on this content out here. We are brought to you by NFL Shop. You can save up to 30% if you're going to use the link that I'm about ready to throw into the comments right there. And there it is. You can save up to 30% by using our affiliate marketing partner, the NFL Shop. It's faith, family, and then football in that order. We use football to spend time with our family and create memories. We don't let football use us. And being guilty by association, if you want to partner with the Villain Squad and you own a business and you want to partner with us, you want to be guilty by association, get a hold of Main Event Mike at 810-620-2167 and find out how you can be guilty by association. Our STARS program. My beautiful wife is an advocate for autism awareness. We have a child that has autism, and she is using her page to share resources for parents who have children with special needs, and we're dedicating our STARS program to helping her do that. So anybody commenting using STARS, thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. Join the conversation. Nobody wants to hear me just spout out my opinions. I want to hear what you think. And no better place to do that than in the comments saying hello to everybody. Good morning, Donkey Kong. Super Bowl or bust. I'm with you, brother. I am with you, or sister. I'm not sure. Good morning, Single Dads Club. What up? You got Paul Jones in the house. Good morning, Paul Jones. Good morning to Davey. Good morning to David. Good morning to Chad. Good morning to Tyler. Good morning.
You like that?
I do have my drops, so I'm good with that.
Say hello to my little friend.
I love it. John, what's going on, my brother?
Say hello
Good
to my
morning.
little friend.
Good morning to you. Right there is the NFL Shop link right there. If you haven't gotten your snazzy new black jerseys that are out there, then you can use that link and save up to 30%. Thank you, NFL Shop. Detroit fam.
Say hello to my little friend.
Love it. And Jay Smooth up in the house.
Say hello to my little friend.
I like it. It's Saturday. It's football eve. we like that.
Hello to my little friend. You like that?
Thank you, Kirk. Thank you, Kirk. Man, we've had some great conversations in here this week, and there's a lot of things that are out there, and the injuries is something that we have to get over. and go over. I don't like doing this stuff right here, but I got sideline report. Final injury reports for week 8 confirms the trade deadline plans. Oh, there we go. Detroit Lions return home for the only game at Ford Field in a 5-game stretch. And they are heavy favorites. The 1-5 Titans is a team that seems ready to punt on the season. They just traded DeAndre Hopkins, and it looks like they're going to be trying to get rid of some more people here pretty soon, and we might even be one of those people what that might be trading for some of their players, and we'll talk about that here in a little bit. But Lions out. Defensive lineman Josh Pascal is out with an illness. Offensive lineman Christian Mahogany hasn't played at all this season. He's still out, but they may be putting him on the main roster on Tuesday because he's going to finish that 21-day window. It looks like he's trending in the right direction. And then a bunch of guys that were on the injury designation that are going to be playing is offensive guard Kevin Zeitler is going to be playing. And Frank Ragnow had a rest day, but he has no designation for Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, or Levi Onwuzurike. The bigs. Dan Campbell called them the bigs. That's Decker, Ragnow, Glasgow, and Onwuzurike. They got a rest day on Wednesday. All 4 were full participants on Thursday and Friday, and all 4 carried no injury designation in for Sunday. Zeitler, who missed game 7 with a hip issue, was first listed on Thursday before the groin injury, 3 straight full practices this week, and he'll be back up in the lineup. Pascal missed 3 days of practice this week due to an illness on Friday, told reporters that he would not be playing. He acknowledged to Ben Raven of M Live that it is something that came up in his annual checkup before being diagnosed with cancer when he was in college, but it's not a long-term concern. Pascal reiterated that he's good and nothing is back, and that it was just about taking care of something that came up in the yearly checkup. With Pascal out, the injuries we know for Aiden Hutchinson and Marcus Davenport. Here's how the Lions defensive line is going to look on Sunday's game. Onwuzurike and rookie Makai Wingo are in line to see edge rushing snaps on Sunday. James Houston is going to see some snaps. Isaiah Thomas was activated. The practice squad guy they poached from the Cincinnati Bengals is going to be active. And practice squad Isaac Ukwu and and Muhammad is also going to be active for the game. Mahogany is out again. He's in a 25-day or 21-day window to be added to the 53-man roster. If he's not added to the active roster by the close of business day next Tuesday, he will have to be shut down for the entire season. And I'm sorry, I didn't know I still had that picture up there. I'm looking through this article right here. Campbell asked if Campbell was asked if Christian Mahogany will be activated when his 21-day window closes, and he and Holmes haven't discussed it, but he said he's gotten better. Quote, he's gotten better every week. Standing up here in front of you, I think it would be hard to say, but I don't want to. It would be hard to say that you don't want to continue this process, or this progress. Gosh, I can't read today. So he had something going on at the beginning of the season. This was a guy that they used draft capital on, Christian Mahogany. He's a guy that's there to provide offensive line depth on the team. So it's looked like he's trending in the right direction. And by Tuesday, he will probably be part of the 53-man roster, which is a good thing. That means that they could depend on him to try to log some good snaps. So he's been practicing with the team. He's finally up to speed, got himself into cardio shape or whatever they do with that. Dun, 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 dun. Let's see the remix. Good morning, Scotty Reno.
Say hello to my little friend.
All right. So Isaiah Thomas and Muhammad are going to be the starters at DN, and there are 17 Lion villain fans who would pick out both guys in the groups. Brad's still out there working, right? Absolutely. They're out there, they're looking for a trade. So here's what the trade thing is I know there's a lot of smoke for a couple weeks, but I expect trades to heat up right around, mid next week, if not even at the beginning of the week. After these games are over, you got one more game until the trade deadline, which is in like 10 days. So they're going, and I'm sure that Brad's got some irons in the fire. And, as we were going over yesterday with the salary cap is, we can get these things done, but all of these guys, especially the ones that are going to be tied to a big salary, we don't want to pay their game checks. The Lions believe that they can win, this Tennessee game, and they believed they could win that Minnesota game, and they were able to do it without Hutchinson. And I think they can win this game without Hutchinson. I don't know about the Green Bay Packers, so we'll have to see what happens this week when it comes with that. But I expect the trade stuff to heat up a lot next week. People don't want to pay those game checks. This game's going to come and go. And, let's say they do go out there and get one of the big name guys, let's say they go get Myles Garrett. You don't want to pay those game checks. They're on his cap number this year, and they probably paid him $20 million. They've got paying, but that's through the whole year. It's not like when they sign these giant contracts, it's like they get all of that money up front. They get their bonuses up front, but they don't get all that money up front. So every game that goes by where Myles Garrett or Max Crosby or, even Harold Landry here from Tennessee, one of these guys that we might have, one of these guys that we might actually pick up, every game that goes by, it's going to cost the Lions less money against the cap, all that stuff. I want the guy that I'm trading for. I want the team to pay more of the salary than we have to pay. And if we can get a couple of victories without Aiden Hutchinson or without making that trade, that's more salary cap that we get to keep. What do you think about that? Because we're out there. We've discussed some of the things. I'm of the opinion that I don't think that, any of these big names, I don't think that we're going to get Garrett, or I don't think that we're going to go and be able to trade for Max Crosby. I don't believe that. I just don't believe that it's impossible. It's not impossible. It's like, what do you want? But I'll tell you what, Myles Garrett is a hell of a lot more of a possibility than Max Crosby, and we went over the numbers of that. But either one of them are possible. Neither one of them are impossible. TJ Lang talking to Max Crosby, and he said he'd love the idea of Detroit trading for him and being able to come here and be part of a team that is focused on winning the Super Bowl. Like, who wouldn't want that? It's almost like an obvious thing. So the stuff that he says on his podcasts and all that stuff, I wanted to be a Raider. I'm a Raider right now. And, those are things that he has to say. Those are things that will tell you one of the reasons that you want a Max Crosby here is because he's not going to throw his team under the bus. He's not going to go to the organization and demand trades. He signed a contract with the Raiders, so his plan is to be part of the Raiders for the next 3 years. That's his plan. There's nothing there's no trade that nobody's traded for him yet. He's a Raider. So as a professional, when you get out in front of people while you're under contract with a team, I mean, you're not going to tell anybody that you want to go to Detroit. Who wouldn't want to come to Detroit at this point and compete? Oh, yeah, I love the Raiders. I love it here. No, you don't. You love losing, Max? You love lose. Yeah, I love losing so much. Yeah, they want to turn it around. I don't want to be a part of no rebuild. Well, when you make a statement where you say you don't want to be part of a rebuild and you're on a team that obviously needs a rebuild, what the hell are we supposed to think? And then you backtrack on the podcast, but I understand why you do that. You don't want to be answering questions to all your teammates. What do you want to go to Detroit? That's what he's supposed to do. Leo says, so are we getting Crosby? No, there's nothing done. There's nothing done. Brad's out there with his iron, putting some irons in the fire. There's a whole bunch of them. He talked to the Browns, and I'm sure that it wasn't just about Zadarius Smith. I mean, every single person that would inquire for Zadarius Smith is also going to ask about Myles Garrett. Cam Jordan, there's another good possibility.
You like that?
He's a little bit old. You know, I don't think that he is what he was, but they do have Aaron Glenn does have experience with working with him because they were in New Orleans together. You know, Dan Campbell was the tight ends coach while that was going on. So I like that. I like that call.
You like that?
Detroit Fan Man says, I mean, it sounds like Chris Christie is the only guy who doesn't want to come to Detroit. Yeah, Chris Christie, he's a Dallas Cowboy fan, and he's ass hurt.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
He's mad that the Lions went down to Dallas and punked them. We went down there. We went into their house. We put our feet up on our couch and grinded up all up in there. Opened up the refrigerator, ate whatever we wanted. Hey, Mrs. Jones. Mrs. Jones, I need a back rub. We went down there and we did whatever we wanted to that team. And Chris Christie thinks that the Dallas Cowboys are special. And Chris Christie thinks that just because we did some trick plays against the Dallas Cowboys, that we have no class. Like the Dallas Cowboys were the only team that we did a trick play against. You ain't special, Dallas. Dallas, you're not special just because Ben Johnson called a couple trick plays on you. We weren't trying to rub it in. That's just who we are. So here, Christie, know your role and shut your mouth. Let The Rock make something perfectly clear to you. Dan Campbell drinks the wine right out of the bottle. And there ain't a damn thing that you can do about it. And when he's done drinking that bottle, he's going to turn that sumbitch sideways and stick it straight up your candy ass.
You like that?
Acknowledge me.
Gosh, hey, you don't want to make The Rock mad. When The Rock comes onto the show, he's he's usually not talking good. The Rock had his he had his moment a couple weeks ago. He told Jerry Jones exactly how he feels about him and the Dallas Cowboys and their cheating asses. I'm reporting that. You got what you deserved, Jerry Jones. How classless is it, Chris Christie, for the owner of a team to pay off some referees to just change the rule at the end of the game? Or to blindly look at a person when they're reporting and think they're not reporting? trying to create confusion. Stop it. Stop it. You got exactly what you deserved. You know, they're trying to get some offensive linemen involved, put a little clownery in there. Yeah, we clowned you. Of course we clowned you, Jerry Jones. It's because you're a clown and your organization is a clown show. If you had a good organization, you would shut the F up and you would let the professionals be the professionals. You wouldn't wait to the end of the offseason to re-sign your guys so you can pay top dollar for your guys. You would re-sign your guys and give them extensions at the beginning of the offseason so you can use that cap relief that you get to actually put better players on your team. That's what you can do. But Chris Christie, if you want to be a Cowboy fan down to the end, you want to call my coach classless, that's fine. That's fine. Last time he was called classless, he was drinking wine straight out the bottle. And it was the best wine. It was delicious wine. Because real good wine tastes like shit.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
But all of the fruity wine and the wine that tastes real, real good, that's the good cheap shit. Give me some of that. Lambrusco. Give me some of that sweet wine. It's made out of grapes. It should be sweet. Oh, my gosh. Dan Ukulele right there. I would love have Warren Sapp tell the Rock to sit down. You would have Warren Sapp tell the Rock to sit down? I don't know. The Rock lays smack down on candy asses. I don't know. Warren Sapp, he's getting up there. I don't know. I think the Rock could take him. Dwayne's looking pretty big. Get past Dallas and move on. They're a mediocre team at best this year. Yeah, that's right. Beautifully presented, Russ. Cowboy fan from New Jersey. Get out of here. Jordan would work, but at the tail end of his career, I would go for the best, Crosby or Max. Yeah, that one's just going to cost more. It's like, what do you want to pay? What are you going to pay? So I don't really think we're going to get Crosby. I think that the Myles Garrett thing, that makes a lot more sense to me just because of the way the contracts work. Because I kept on asking myself, it's like if Myles Garrett was on this team already, it's like, and you only had him for 1 year, would you sign him? Would you sign the defensive player of a year to a 2-year contract at $20 million a year? Because that's what he's signed to right now. You got him for this year, and you got him for 2 more years after that, or the Browns do. And he's on a very, very, very team-friendly contract. Like, so good. Like, for the quality of player Myles Garrett is, he is on a very, very team-friendly contract. I might as well go bring it up for you guys since I keep running my mouth. So let's get in here and look at that. Because, I mean, I did show this to everybody yesterday, but this was just something that came to my attention. So I'm looking at this. And you're looking at that contract here in 2024. I mean, it's $20 million. It's $19 million in cap. It's $20 million in cap. And they made the contract. They're going to have to eat this. You know, you got to deal with all this dead cap stuff that's going to be there regardless. They have to deal with those numbers if we trade for them. We don't have to. We have to deal with these numbers. You know, they put guaranteed money. I mean, you can get out of this contract. The cap number, the void number don't even matter in this situation because they paid his guarantees all up. Here's the best part about his contract going into the 2 years. Like if we traded for him, If you're looking at this, I have this up. I do. Okay, good. I have this up. So in 2024, this is his year right now. You got this guaranteed salary is only $1 million right there. And they paid his salary up in bonuses. So for the next 2 years, no money, zero guaranteed, zero guaranteed. You can just let that play out. Now, you could restructure that contract because I don't know if we'd have to deal with that void year if we would take on the void year in the trade because they made that deal. But this is a very good team friendly contract. So I would argue that they say that the asking price is 2 first-round picks, right? You would start with that. I would think that contract is so good they might get 3 first-round picks for that pick for that. So that would be really expensive if they're going to move on from Myles Garrett. But when you look at their situation, they're so screwed in Cleveland. It reminds me of 2021 Lions. If you remember in 2021, when the Lions traded Stafford and then got Goff, and they had to, they were 40 million over the cap because of the trade, and they got Goff in return, so that kind of numbed it. But they ended up being like 60 million and some change over the cap, with the dead cap. So they had to fill their roster with like $100 million. It was pretty much all undrafted free agents. Now, the Browns have to do that. If they want to be able to compete in 2026, if the Browns want to compete in 2026, they are going to have to get rid of some cap. And, Myles Garrett's going to be going into his 30 years old. Is your Denzel Ward is the guy you build around. And they got some other players that are in there too that they could keep to build around. But Myles Garrett, by the time you're going to compete, you're not going to build around that 31, 32-year-old guy. He's still Myles Garrett right now. So the Browns have to get rid of some of this salary, especially when you're looking at Deshaun Watson. And Deshaun Watson he's on IR right now, but he's oh my gosh, this is killing me right now in here. Deshaun, is he on here? Where you at, Deshaun Watson? Where the hell did he go? Maybe put it in next year. Okay, there we go. So here's his 2025 salary right here for Deshaun Watson. His cap number is going to be $72 million. And guess what? You can't restructure it. You know why? Because his base salary is $46 million, and $46 million is guaranteed. So they are in quite the pickle in that. So what they need to do is they got to figure out the Deshaun Watson thing by the time 2026 comes around, which is the exact same thing, which is 46 million guaranteed. Right? Let's go further. Let's go even further. Okay, there's the void contract, but there's still $28 million in dead money in 2027. In 2028, you still got $8 million in dead money. 2029, finally, you're done with that. So you're going to tell me that the Browns are going to build around Myles Garrett starting in what, 2028? The Browns are a dumpster fire. And Brad Holmes needs to go over there and take advantage of that. or somebody is going to. They need, but that is one hell of an asset that they have because of the way that Myles Garrett's contract is set up. That's amazing to me, like how good of a deal that Myles Garrett, the Browns have on Myles Garrett right now. What a great deal that they have on Myles Garrett right now, and they don't deserve it. They're going to waste Myles Garrett if they don't trade him. And I know that he feels that in his mind. They got a $72 million cap hit for 3 straight years for a guy that's probably never going to take meaningful snaps for them again. And you're going to take Myles Garrett and you're really going to put him through that, Cleveland? If you don't trade Myles Garrett and free that man, because he's such a great player. And I mean, I want the Lions to get him, but let him go somewhere where he might be able to do something. Don't hold him prisoner on your shit team.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
So that's my hope and a prayer right there. Like, if I wanted anything to happen, that's my best case scenario, would be that the Lions find some kind of way to trade for Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett's probably my favorite non-Lion player. It would be to me, I'd be like eating candy. Be like Halloween all over again. All that sweet candy, having Myles Garrett. And the beautiful thing about having Myles Garrett on that contract is you have Aiden Hutchinson and Myles Garrett for this year, next year, and 2026. That type of trade would make the Lions the front runner to win the Super Bowl for the next 3 years. There's no other trade that can do that. You might be able to say that with Max Crosby too, but Myles Garrett is a tier above even Aiden Hutchinson. Myles Garrett was Defensive Player of the Year. That dude is a monster. That dude is a monster. Now, Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby are sack machines. I'll give them that. But the difference between Aiden Hutchinson, Max Crosby, and Myles Garrett is that Myles Garrett, when Jordan Love breaks out of contain and he starts running with the football, and where Aiden Hutchinson and Max Crosby would lose him, Myles Garrett is faster than Jordan Love. He's faster than Caleb Williams. That's why he's so dangerous. He's so big and such a freak athlete. He's faster than everybody. You can't outrun him out of the pocket. You can't get out of the pocket with him. So that's the difference. I mean, I think that their skill sets are the same. They got moves. These are, to me, you're talking about 3 top 5 defensive linemen, pass rushers in the NFL. Top 10, if you want to argue with me. But undisputable top 10 guys in the NFL. Max Crosby, Myles Garrett, and Aiden Hutchinson. So I'm splitting hairs right here when I say that Myles Garrett's better than those guys. But Myles Garrett is the only player that the Lions could trade for that I actually believe would be an upgrade over Aiden Hutchinson. And then the fear factor would set in that you would get Aiden Hutchinson too. How cool would that be? Yeah, Donkey Kong says dollar store move incoming for D end. What do you consider a dollar store move? Because if you consider a dollar store move going to, and spending a 3rd round pick from 2026 draft to get Harold Landry, I'd take that. Realistically, I'll take that. Bring in Harold Landry. Don't let him leave Detroit. I like that move. I like the fact that Terrell Williams has already coached that guy. I like Harold Landry as a dude that we could get. I'm not big on, I won't be all that excited about the Zadarius Smith thing. I wouldn't. From what I hear, I don't know a lot. I mean, Jeremy, you seem to comment in here a little bit about the pass rusher they got from New York Giants. I don't know a lot about him, but I heard that would be a good lower tier move. You know, people have been bringing that name in there. Leo says Zadarius Smith would be a mistake. I mean, he's a body. He's a mercenary. Zadarius Smith is short term, but it wouldn't fix. I don't think that it would fix the problem. I think it's another guy that we have, and I think that we have a lot of guys that maybe they're not that good. That would be an upgrade in the room, totally, but he's not so much of an upgrade that I think that I would feel great about that. I think like Preston Smith would be like the new items at the dollar store. So Donkey Kong, I want to know where your line is right here. Is dollar store, is that like under a third round pick? I mean, is dollar store a third round pick being traded for a player, or a second round pick being traded for a player? Is that dollar store? I'm just trying to see where your lines are here. I'm not trying to troll you or anything. I'm just asking, you know, dollar store. Is that day 3 and lower? Is that where we're going to put the line? Because I like defining things on my show, because that way we can all, you know, have a debate from the same place. You know, where are we defining dollar store? And then we can start talking. Yeah, I like this right here. Aziz from the Giants, 9 sacks and 34 years. In the league, 6'5", 260. That sounds like the size that they want in there. The thing is when I'm looking at this and I see that we're gonna roll out. I mean, I love our practice squad. Don't get me wrong. I like Isaac Ukwu. You know, and I really like James Houston. I hope that we can get the James Houston sometime that we got in his rookie year. I mean, I like these guys, but I want to win a Super Bowl. I don't want to get close again. I don't want to be the cute team. Please. I don't want to do that. They got some Tennessee. I'm looking at Brad Berryman throughout this at 6:00 this morning. 3 Tennessee Titan players that the Detroit Lions should be scouting for Week 8. Offensive lineman Daniel Brunskill started 14 games at right guard for Tennessee Titans last year. He played all 6 of their games so far this season, and he has essentially only lined up as an extra tight end. Okay. Brunskill has played most of his snaps at right guard in his career and started games at all 5 offensive line positions. That's the kind of versatility has value, and the Titans aren't inclined to use it right now. The Lions have one of the best offensive lines in the league, but 4 of their 5 starters are a little bit older. So barring injury to a starting interior offensive lineman for Tennessee, it stands to take a very deep in-person scouting look at a guy like Brunskill. I like that. I like that's a good call there by Brad Berryman. I'm just reading from the article here. Edge Arden Key. Arden Key could be a guy that the Lions could go after. PFF in week 7, 36 highest graded edge defender going into week 8, top 50 pass rushing grade with 10 pressures. 10 pressures. Did you hear that? 10 pressures. We barely got that as a whole unit last week in pressures. Keys is in his second year of a 3-year deal, but his contract has no guaranteed money in 25, and he's got a $1.42 million for this year. Man, Key wouldn't be a needle moving acquisition, but he shouldn't command more than a day 3 pick. So there's a day 3 pick right there. And then obviously edge Harold Landry. He spent his entire career with Tennessee, though, and he's only 28 years old. Under contract through 2026, a team traded for him would pick up the prorated portion of his $17.25 million salary for the rest of the year. Then he has not matching non-guaranteed salaries of $17.5 million in 2025 and 2026. So here's another guy that you could get that is team friendly, is Harold Landry. So I think they're going to be looking at him really close. Harold Landry. Because it's not just that, it's the contracts too. And when you look at that, this $17.5 million salary, that's not much for when you consider that it's a bona fide starting. That's a good guy. I mean, that's a good second tier dude. If you could get him for a 3rd round pick, I love that. That feels like, an all-in type of move for Brad Holmes, where I don't think that's dollar store if you go get Landry. I think that Preston Smith. Okay, wait. Did you? You never answered me. You never answered me, Donkey Kong. Come on, man. Come on. Let's see. Landry lines up better with Holmes' business sense, but Garrett makes us a viable for the foreseeable future. Yeah, Garrett's that's next level, guys. Like guys like Garrett don't come available. And because the only reason I think that there's even a possibility or even a small chance that Garrett would be available is because the Lions are not burning, but the Browns are a dumpster fire that is just blazing. It's catching on to, suburb cities and starting to spread. They got to douse the fire out. They got to make good with themselves and really understand that they aren't going to be a contender, that they really messed up with this Deshaun Watson thing. And they're actually a couple of years away before they can even start their rebuild. It's worse off than I thought it was to begin with. Jeremy says, I like Arden Key even less than Zadarius Smith. Okay, you don't want Arden Key. 9 games for whoever we get as far as the game checks. Yes, we'll be able to get that. What is that? We're in week 8 right now, so week 8 would finish. So he had 8 out of his 9 game checks, so pretty much half. We would be able to get Landry for about 8.5. So that would be cool. I like that.
You like that?
Really, what the business sense of me. I know I've had a lot of talks. We've been talking about Max Crosby and Garrett and all that all week, right? But on a real note, where I think that there's like a double digit chance to happen, is the like Landry. Because if they're selling their team, that's a very good sellable piece. Honestly, for that contract, I mean, call me crazy, but I would probably give up a 2 for that and to get Landry. You know, Landry has 45 and a half sacks, 7 pass breakups, 4 forced fumbles. He actually my number one out of everybody available due to his production at 28. Yeah, I love and Jeremy, the contract is so good with that. I mean, I didn't even look at Arden Key as somebody that I would want. That was kind of a surprise. I'm reading it. I'm real time, when I'm looking at that article. But Landry seems like very viable play, and for more than one reason. It isn't just the production right there. I love this production, by the way. Thank you, Jeremy. I'll leave that up there, as a matter of fact. I mean, that's very good production for a guy that is only 28 years old. And that contract that he has, like I said, I would pay a second round pick. You go ahead and give me the second round pick for next year for Landry because of that contract. Because he's going to give you production, and you can also rework that contract. He can be part of your future because you can rework that deal. You can rework that deal. Yeah, we need a pass rusher bad. Yes, there's no doubt. There's no doubt. But I do think it is a smart play that they're not jumping right in there. I mean, every week that they win, while they're in this trade market, the value for all the players goes down other than the top 2. Max Crosby, it don't matter how long you wait. Myles Garrett, don't matter how long you wait. You have to pay top dollars. And if you wanted either one of those top 2 guys, just be prepared, Lion fan. If that happens, that's what it's going to cost. And Brad Holmes knows that right now, too. He was on a team that said, F those picks. There is a time to go all in. And I do believe that time is right now. I believe that Max Crosby and Myles Garrett are 2 guys that you pay what they want you to pay. And it don't matter, because getting a guy of that quality put onto your team, it puts you over the edge. There's 2 over the edge guys. And you might even say that Landry would be a 3rd over the edge guy. He's definitely 3rd on the list of talent out of all those guys. Myles Garrett is by far the most talented guy. He's the only guy that you could get that would upgrade Hutchinson. He would be an upgrade over Hutchinson. And he's a better player than Max Crosby, too. That's my opinion. I'll stay there. You can disagree with that. That's fine. But somebody's going to go in and get Myles Garrett's, final 3 or 4 prime years, and Myles Garrett's contract looked so freaking good. Myles Garrett's contract looks almost as good as the Landry contract. And he's twice the player. I mean, you're talking domination. Like, Brad, if you could do that, that would make me like the happiest guy. Because, like I said, Myles Garrett is probably my favorite non-Lion player. I love dominating players. I love guys that just take your game plan and wreck it, I always put my daps out to the big men, because the big men are the ones that make it all happen. As good as Jared Goff is right now, it's like Though that offensive line makes it go, dude. And I'm not taking anything away from Gibbs, not taking anything away from Montgomery, because Brad Holmes made sure that he put the whole package together. So you got a very talented quarterback that is elite at processing, at throwing the ball when he's got his things that are around him. He can step up. He can count on his guys. He makes throws under pressure. It's the perfect kind of offense for him. The perfect kind of offense. And that's what you need. That's what made Tom Brady so good. That's what made Joe Montana so good. You can call all those guys are considered the greatest quarterbacks, the greatest players of all time. But those guys had great coaching, great systems put into place. And that offensive line that the Lions have, it makes me feel so good. You know, it makes me feel good that you want to be nasty up front when you're playing on the defensive line, that you want big, tough, strong guys that want to be physical, you know? And to be that type of team, that's why the Bears, you know, are a better team than what people think, is because they play rough and tough and physical. They want to out physical you. The Lions are a out physical you on both sides of the ball. And I love that. And Myles Garrett, that's it. It's over for the next 3 years. That's the home run play. That's a grand slam play right there. It doesn't even kill you on the salary stuff. You can do that and still extend Aiden Hutchinson. You can do that and still extend Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch when that comes up. I know, I love it how people bring up like guys that aren't even going to be looked at for extensions for like 2 years. It's really funny. Well, what are they going to do? They need to re-sign Brian Branch. No, they don't. The guy's on his second year of a rookie deal. They didn't even have to think about re-signing him until they get into that third year. They could possibly re-sign him in that. I don't even know if you can do it at the beginning of the third year. You get to the beginning of that fourth year, that off season after the third year. After the third year. So after next year, that's when you think about re-signing Brian Branch. Don't bring up Laporta right now. Don't bring up Gibbs right now. That has nothing to do with right now. You got to get into the order of the guys. And the Myles Garrett or Landry is not going to hurt the Lions long term. The draft picks aren't going to hurt the Lions long term. We've been over this 100 times on this program. The Lions have 45 players on their roster that are still under contract that are going to be here next year. I mean, where the hell are you going to put all these draft picks anyway? Oh, you're going to mess up the future. What do you mean? Brad Holmes is drafted like a straight G since he's gotten here. Brad Holmes is stocked the cupboard full of talent that's on rookie contracts. That's why we were able to sign the guys that we were able to sign. He's handled the contracts like a magician. And they even told you last year that they were ahead of schedule. Ahead of schedule when it comes to talent means that you have a lot of good talent on rookie deals, on cheap deals. It's funny. You got to have a quarterback that's on a rookie deal. No, you don't. It's like you just have to be saving money somewhere. You have to be saving money somewhere. You know, if you're paying a quarterback, you better be saving money somewhere else. And right now, Lions are in saving mode with tight end, running back, safeties. They're saving money on safeties. They're saving money on cornerbacks, saving money on linebackers. They're not saving money on offensive linemen and quarterback. No. But where do you want to be strong? Leo says Brad is a blessing to the Lions. There's no doubt in my mind. No doubt. No doubt in my mind. It's like that's why we're where we're at, is because of Brad Holmes and how much talent he's put onto this team. Now, Dan Campbell gets credit for developing the guys on the next end. It's keeping the culture together. Ownership gets credit because they allowed this to be a fluid motion. You know, Sheila Hamp gets out of the way. She's not in the media saying, oh, man, I don't know. Like the Jerry Jones stuff. What a joke. What a joke. It must suck to be a Dallas Cowboy fan right now. It's got to be awful. I mean, why would you even want to show? How can you look at that and think that you're going to do anything? You know, you have to have your team be together. You know, the strongest teams are the closest teams. And you got all kinds of fires going on over there. You're throwing your head coach underneath the bus. That team's done. That team's done. Now tell me salary cap isn't real. It's like a delayed reaction. Like people spend all this money and in the moment they go, oh, what's going to happen? And 2 years later is where you got to worry about it. And here's 2 years later, Dallas, now you have nothing. Smith feels like something that we would do. Zadarius Smith, karma's a bitch. Yes. I trust Holmes. He's been so frugal. So he can make a big move. He's earned it. That's a great point, David.
You like that?
I don't know if that's where you were going with that, but he has. You know, hasn't he earned a little cachet with you? Now, last year we had this exact same discussion. Oh, you needed to go trade for Chase Young. They weren't ready for that last year. Too many holes in the secondary. You don't want to mess with your future when you still got holes. Lions don't have holes. They don't have holes. They have injured guys. You know, they put in those spots. The injuries created holes for this year, so they have to replace those if they're to contend in there. So you're thinking now, you're thinking long term, and they're in a good spot right here to do that. If you can hit that grand slam, Brad Holmes, you pay Cleveland whatever they want for Myles Garrett. I'm standing on that. That if you try to tell me, if you try to feed me draft and develop shit when you have a chance to get Myles Garrett, next man up, miss me with that right now. If you got a shot to get Myles Garrett, I don't give a shit if it was 3 first-round picks. Those first-round picks ain't guaranteed to do shit, especially at the end of the first round. They ain't guaranteed nothing. Now, Brad Holmes drafts so well that you might think it's a guarantee. But to get Myles Garrett, the finished product, a generational type of dude, best defensive player in the league. I mean, you can argue TJ Watt or whatever, but the way that Myles Garrett is good is what we need. We need a guy that can chase down Caleb Williams when he runs outside of the pocket, if he can get outside the pocket. You know, a defensive end where you can send 4 guys and you got a guy that's actually fast enough to chase down the quarterback. Cap for life. Hey, bro. You called it on the Rams game for sure. They got the blueprint out there. Jason MC knows about it. Back-to-back drawing board in Minnesota, mini buy. You know it. You know it if you're, you know, and you can admit it. Ben Johnson pulled out the blueprint for that defense. And this is the NFL. This is the NFL. I did call it on the Minnesota thing, and this is what happens in the NFL. This is why you tell people, like, be careful with saying, hey, this is the best team in the NFL, not best team in the NFL. How well does your team pivot? Because people are going to figure your shit out. They will. They're going to figure your stuff out. The best teams are the ones that once they figure it out, they go back to the drawing board and they get it done. So that's what Jason's talking about right here. Because the way that the Vikings played defense at the beginning of the year in the first 6 games that worked won't work anymore. That way, they have to change. Brian Flores has to tweak the defense because he understands how people are going to attack him now, and he has to tweak the tweak. I mean, that's why you can see teams come out and punch teams in the face real quick, and then all of a sudden you see the momentum switch. Really good teams can adjust on the fly and then throw your kryptonite back at you. Ben Johnson threw the kryptonite out there for that Minnesota Viking defense. And if he doesn't tweak that, they'll get beat by the Colts. They'll get beat by the next 3-4 teams are going to go back and they're going to try to go to that well that Ben Johnson created. Stafford's so good. I mean, Sean McVay's a smart coach. He's like, oh, okay, that's how they did it. Tut, 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 tut. I mean, face mask or no face mask, Minnesota wasn't winning that game. They were out physicaled. They were holding on by a prayer. They were in the back of that end zone. The Rams defensive linemen were dominating that line, even with Darisaw on it. But then after Darisaw went out, they had no chance in that game to come back. It was a bad call. That should have been a face mask. I don't like where they called it because it essentially ended the game. And I hate when referees have that much power. Especially in something like that. It's like you should have just let that play out on without the controversy. Sad. It really is sad. Because there are some Viking fans that want to rest on that they got screwed out of the game. And it's like, okay, you should have played better. You should have scored a touchdown in the second half. And you wouldn't be having these conversations. You would have been able to go down. How do we feel about this 11-point spread? I don't know. I made my prediction. I think that Tennessee's going to play it closer than that. But most everybody went against me on that. It's like one of the things that I try to do is separate my fandom from advice that I would give for people that are spending their money betting on games. I don't do that. I don't bet on games. But I'm pretty good at picking the spread part. And Tennessee's got a pretty good defense. I don't think they can slow us down too much, but he didn't just say that as coach speak to say that he thinks that this is the best defense that the Lions are going to face this year or so far. This year so far. Now, the Vikings play good defense in a different way. They try to trick you. Type of defense where Tennessee really kind of lines up and plays that, man stuff and press coverage and, physical type of defense. And, the Lions play that too. We're familiar with a physical game, but Tennessee plays defense in that way. They're going to make it hard on our outside wide receivers, but no L'Jarius Sneed. Oh, Joseph. If I knew that Sneed was going to be out, which I didn't when I suggested. I might, if I was able to, which I can't, I would change that, because I do believe that the Lions are going to beat them by more than 11 points now. I mean, so some things, it's like you got to go next man up, but when you're trying to replace like all pro players like Snead or like Aiden Hutchinson's, you can't just say next man up. Next men up. We could probably go there. Hey bro, I called it. Yes, Lions hangover is real. Yeah.
You like that?
Got to get us. Wait. What would you think of trying to get the Titans edge rusher? I don't know who that is. Jalen Harrell. I think that he's one of their younger players. That would be just a jag for me. Just a guy. We need a guy that you can change the game with. And unfortunately, those guys don't fall off trees. You either go get one splash or you might get a couple of them. David said Minnesota needs to get Cashman back for sure. For sure. And they got to build depth behind him too. Hey, Russ, David, Carolyn, and JB up in the house. What do you predict the score for tomorrow? That's a good question. Throw your score predictions in. Kim says she wants to hear your score predictions. And while you're doing that, can you hit that like button? Whatever platform you're watching on right now, if you hit that like button, it helps. The only reason you shouldn't hit that like button is if you hate football. If you don't, if you like football, then you should hit that like button, because that's what we do. We're 24/7 football. We love football. We talk football when there's no football. Hit that like button. Appreciate that. Okay. There we go. Now we got the scores going in there. Harpozo says it'll probably be something like 31-21 if they are lucky. See, that's the part where I don't want to bet and give up that many points. You know what I'm saying? Like the Lions could be blowing them out, 31-7 going into the fourth quarter, and they throw in Hendon Hooker and they throw in all the backups and they score a couple garbage time touchdowns, and then I lose my freaking money because it was an 11-point spread. Be careful with so many points in the NFL. I know that, I do believe the Lions can win by more than 11 points. I do, but I also know how the NFL is. I wouldn't put money on that and give up that many points. This isn't college. This isn't Michigan versus Southwest Mississippi Valley Tech. These are professional football teams. Let's see. Face mask, no call. I think that it's a 10. The face mask, no call was bad. I think it was a 10-point win for the Lions. 30-20 Lions. Oh, so you guys would be taking the Titans on the bet in these. Leo not. Leo says 37-21. Ben Johnson's going to come in there and start doing flea flickers. Penei Sewell's going to throw a touchdown pass. Jack Fox is going to throw a touchdown pass off a fake from our own 7. Oh, look at these scores. 28-16. I love it. I see what you did there, Jeff. He put it in there. He put it in there to make sure that we covered. Thank you. Thank you for making it cover. All the Lions fans love that. I hope that the Lions don't follow the pattern of flopping with teams that are predicted to be an easy win. That is not going to happen, Kim. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the Lions have not beaten these Titans as the Titans ever. And This is one of those over games where we haven't won yet. This is like the Seattle game. Oh man, we haven't won a game in like 6 games. Okay, we beat Seattle. Oh, we haven't beaten Dallas in like 6 games. We beat Dallas. Oh, we haven't beaten the Titans in like 8 games. We're going to beat the Titans. We're going to beat the Titans. We'll beat the shit out of the Titans. And I'm a fan, and we're fans. So fans getting cocky isn't the team not taking the other team serious. It's funny. I'll put something. We put a post up on our page the other day that said the Viking or that the Titans don't stand a chance. And then, you always get the pushback from the people that are like, oh, well, you better not take them not so serious. And I was like, well, my opinion on what's going to happen has nothing to do with how they're preparing for the Titans. It's like we're such fans that, they listen to us. Hey, Russ, I know that you have a Lions fan page. Like Panay Sewell comes up to me and says, hey, Russ, I know that you have a fan page. Do you think that we should take the Titans serious? And I'm like, no, dude. It's going to be a cakewalk, bro. And he's like, okay, cool, man. Thanks. And then they don't take them serious. Like they're not going to follow that pattern, Cam. Some of the people on there. 3110. Oh, man, we got some confidence rolling.
Like that!
I love that confidence. So rolling. What? Rolling. Come on. Like Bears last year and Bucks this year. Yeah. Lions score, and I think that we will easily get 37. Yeah. Yep. We should definitely win, but this is the NFL, and I'm just gonna let it play out. Oh, for sure. Absolutely. The NFL, any team can kick your ass on any given day. You got to make sure that you're playing your best. I mean, this is the highest level of competition that they're going to get. Thank you for the predictions. Thank you for getting them in there. Make sure you get your predictions in. For sure, David, I am just concerned about our defense. Well, luckily we're playing Mason Rudolph. And I mean, any quarterback can get you, but I mean, our team's deep. Exactly, Russ. If you're winning by 3 scores, you play your backups. We have to go above 40. Let's go above 40 for the second time since 62. Really? We haven't had 2 40-point games? I did not know that. The way we have been playing after we get the game into control, we will start playing fun. That makes sense. Yes. The Lions won't flop. They have their eye on home field advantage in the playoffs and the Super Bowl. I agree with that.
You like that?
100% right there. There's a good prediction right there. 45-27, getting in the 40s. I like that. I like you change your voice when you are what's that? I love how you change your voice when you are copying other people. I like impressions. I like doing that. And if Christopher Walken was here right now, he'd say Lions Villain Report. It's one of my favorite shows that I watch because it's football talk, and I love to talk football. And I love the Lions because the king of the jungle, and the Lions Villain Report. It's at 10 a.m. You can watch it. It should be good for you. It should be good for you. It could be good for your life. Yeah. Lions are cool. Yeah. Go Lions. Yeah. Go Lions. Yeah. Shut up, dumbass. I was cheated. You didn't see what they did? They grabbed me by my face mask and they threw me down on the ground. They should have been flagged. The Vikings. I'll be back. I'm glad that we got to hear from Darnold Schwarzenegger. I think that they could come back a little bit. What do you think the Vikings are going to be looking for? Yes, best division in football. That's why we got to stay on our P's and Q's. You know, I don't think that the Lions are going to take the Titans. I think they're going to take them serious. And they have to take them serious because the Packers are 5-2. The Vikings are 5-2. And the Bears are 4-2. So the Lions can feel the pressure of the division being good. You know, if they had a 3-game lead in a division, yeah, I could probably subscribe to that this might be a trap type of game. But I'm having some fun. I'm going to have some fun doing it. Donald Schwarzenegger. Come on. Rick Rude. Rick Rude. You know, he took a vacation. Rick Rude was taking a vacation and, you know, he's got to, you know, go and, you know, oil himself up. What I'd like to have right now is for all of you fat, out of shape, Tennessee Titan piss ants, keep the noise down while I take my robe off and show all the Tennessee ladies what a real sexy man looks like. Hit the music. Yeah. This is a ravishing Rick Rude coming to you live from the Villain Report. Yes, this is the Villain Report. You can join Russell Wayne live at 10 a.m. Monday through Saturday. You too can engage into meaningless football talk as we beat our chests about our great football team. All that we want is it for the last forever. Let's keep winning, Detroit Lions. That's what we do. The Lion Villain Report. Streaming live into the Villain Squad Facebook page with 56,000 followers. Why have billions when you could have thousands? Broadcasting live into YouTube in the Villain Squad, Lions Villain Squad, at Lions Villain Squad on YouTube. The Villain Report, the Villain Squad is the UDFA of sports podcasting. We may not be the best show. Hell, we aren't even the 5th best show, but we're grinding. We're good with getting better every day. Constant improvement. We're going to make this show one of the best shows that are out there. Even if it isn't right there right now, we're willing to work for it. We embrace the grit. We embrace the grind. We embrace
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
If you want to partner with the Villain Squad and you want to be guilty by association, you can get pricing. You own a business, you can get pricing from Mike. Main Event Mike. Call him up. 810-620-2167. You can partner with the Villain Squad and be guilty by association. Oh gosh, ladies and gentlemen, it's coming into that time. I got to say goodbye to everybody. It's faith, family, and football on here. It's in that order. We use football to spend time with our family. We don't let football use us. We use football to create memories. We don't let football use us. And may the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord shine his face upon you until we meet again. And that'll be on Monday. And we'll know who won the football games. God bless you guys. Talk to you soon.
Hey, yo, the lies told that you never make it. Hopeless, so it seems. Eyes closed, hands open wide to embrace your dreams. Sometimes you gotta take a loss just to get the win. Like lots of sin was popping in like oxygen when boxes wet. Focus on the mental, never lose like a smooth instrumental. Better choose on the move in a pinto. Choose when I get to, never lose smooth on the move, but it's simple. Never give up and we running and maybe we just keep winning, we conquering daily. Envision that pay me is never the sway me. Indigenous, maybe we winning is crazy. Your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity, it's your opportunity, your opportunity, your opportunity.